All right. Can you hear me? There's a little bit of a lag here. Often it's funny. It's like doing live television, which I've not done, but there seems to be like a 15 to 20 second lag. If you can hear me, just let me know, and then we'll jump into the crux of it. Yeah, you can hear me good as gold. All right. What is the time? 53 past the hour. Don't want to take too much of your time. I want to keep this short, punchy, to the point, and exactly what it needs to be. G'day. Look, first things first, to all of you coming to Sydney, thank you. It's awesome. I can't believe the response that we've had for the live course. Can't wait to see some of the current members and some new people as well. I'm really, really excited, looking forward to it. I've got to be honest with you, though. From my point of view, it's doing my head in. There's a whole bunch of different things, not different, but new takes on things. I've been trading in this market now for pretty much 2 years. And of course, I've learned a lot in that time. Who's the best to work with, how to work with them, as in accounts. We're adding a huge amount of value to this. And it's funny, you start writing, and then you write a list of what you want to either review and make better or also add. And that list keeps on growing. Thank you to my community in the Slack group, because you give me some great ideas. It just seems to be like the old saying, how long is a piece of rope? Well, that's me right now. The rope keeps on getting longer. But enough about that. Look, if you want to get to Sydney and you haven't booked already and you're procrastinating, I wouldn't suggest procrastinating too much longer. We are just about at capacity. Anyway, Bitcoin, where are we right now? The whole point of this is to show you a little bit more detail on 2017's moves and to help to project that into this move that we have got on our hands in 2019. Before I get to that part, though, I want to show you a couple of things. Actually, no, I should probably start with that because it'll sort of set everything up quite well. If we look here at 2017's bull run, you'll look at this. Pullback, 32%. Now, I've written all this in. Here's one I prepared earlier to make it easier for me. 32% pullback, followed by a 234% move to the upside. That's from the low to the high. Then a 40% pullback, and then a 178% move, then a 39, and so on and so forth, 32. You can see it on the charts. Now, what that actually collates to become is the average pullback in 2017's bull market, which was the best bull market, the biggest bull market for most people, because most people weren't around in 15, those sorts of times. What it ends up being is an average pullback of 35.25%, and let me do the math, 207.75% average high. No, I didn't just do the math. I am not the Rain Man, but I've already done the calculations. Now, here's my issue. And it's not an issue, it's not a real issue. It's something to be cognizant of. We want to see Bitcoin break to all-time highs. We know that, and we are very much on that path right now. I mean, look at what we've, from those lows, the absolute lows to where we are on the absolute highs, we've done 343%. Big move. But you'll note, there's not been any pullback. And have a look as well. Each time it's pulled back into the 20. Right? Apart from this last one, which was less than the average of 35.25. So therefore, I'm a little bit concerned that we haven't, I shouldn't say concerned. For me, trading Bitcoin is about building a substantial amount of wealth. All right? And I say that because when you do get these pullbacks, I feel comfortable that I can layer positions and go, I might get 10 trades over this run, for example, right? And in those 10 trades, I might build up to a $10, $15 million position. But the thing is, you build it up individually on each trade. Scale out, no risk. Scale out, no risk. Trail stop. So in actual fact, as you get more opportunity and you get to trail your stops on the earlier trades, you're actually locking in profit. You end up with a massive position, and when Bitcoin does something like this and goes absolutely burko, 254% move from the most recent pullback here, you make life-changing amounts of money. Now, life-changing amounts of money is different for every person. Yes, I am trading a larger account than a lot of you guys. But don't forget, I came from somewhere. You got to start. There is no better market to make life-changing amounts of money than this market is presently. And I stand by that, and I've been saying that for a very long time, and that's why I've put all my tools down in traditional markets and focused on this market in particular. So I'd love to see that decent sized pullback, but it doesn't look likely at the moment. Okay, so flipping to the daily, let's have a look at what the pullback was. The average is 35.25. We got 30%. Not as deep as I would have liked. And it pulled back in just, it didn't quite get into the 10. All right? So we are overextended. We do deserve a pullback. But the thing is with Bitcoin is you can't keep a good dog down, right? This puppy keeps moving, moves back down to 10,000, rejects it heavily. In 2 days, let's have a look. Let's be realistic. In 2 days, we regained nearly 25%. Nearly 25%. Then we pulled back. I'm thinking, okay, well, that could potentially be a lower high. If it breaks down through here, it's a lower low, and there's my pullback, right? Didn't turn out. If it breaks the high of this, we've got a higher low and a higher high, and that's what we've seen. Now, it's steady buying momentum. Now, I talk about in my courses a lot about moving averages and how far away we are. And when there's big candles, often we'll see pullbacks, like we did here. Big candle, and then we see the pullback. Now, if I just zoom back out again and bring you into the period of time when these pullbacks, when the last big one occurred, the writing was on the wall around here. We had 2 days, we did 2,000 there, 3,000 here. Those are the big, massive days, but we do tend to see volatility increase, obviously, right? We see a lot going on. Hype cycles. The Google search function was massive. It was all guns blazing, all right? Then we pull back. Yes, we moved to new highs, and then it got really radical. It got real messy. Plenty of opportunities to exit throughout this period for those that knew what they were looking for. Now, we haven't got quite the same sort of upward trajectory as what we did back then, which is a nice, comforting thought, considering there's plenty of upside to go. But look at how look back here. We pushed up, we broke through this resistance, and we went straight to 6,000. We went straight up. Then we went through 6,000, which was the level for which that we had, look, this old support and resistance around that 6,000 mark. A lot of influencers and a lot of people in the market were talking about 6,000 as being an issue. Well, the good news is that all they did was talk. There was no orders there. I watched it. I sat here literally in front of my 4 screens and I watched that move. There was 3/5 of such and such all at 6,000. The buying went straight through. We went straight through 7,000. We went straight to 8,000 very, very quickly. I can remember as we pushed through 7,000 because I was actually in a mate's place building a cabinet, of all things. Then we had a very quick pullback and we consolidated and we moved. Right now, higher low, higher high, nice consistent buying. Nothing over the top, right? Like back here, we broke back up to an uptrend, consistent buying. Nothing over the top. It got over the top here when we started to see these massive moves, right? We haven't seen that yet. From my position, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we wake up in the morning, for those in the Australasian or the Southern Hemispheres, to see Bitcoin at 2019 highs. Now, I'm not claiming that that's going to happen. What I am suggesting is I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. Bitcoin has this wonderful ability to shock and to do its own thing. A lot of good press, a lot of good things in the market right now around Bitcoin. It's sort of working out quite well. But what am I doing trading-wise? Well, this morning I'll just get rid of this Fibonacci for a second. I'll go to the Bitfinex chart because the BitMEX didn't set up quite so well. This morning, when I did my live trading full scan with members, you see touch 1, touch 2, touch 3, and a fourth here. Higher low, higher low, higher low. The problem was that I was a little bit late doing my podcast this morning on the TraderCobb Crypto Show. And at 10 o'clock, that was our final test. Now, had I have been a little bit less distracted, I should say, I would have raised an order. Not on BitMEX, but on Bitfinex. Less leverage, but still a good trade. Stop loss would have been here on the Bitcoin breakout move. Bang, straight through, big move. Now, nothing has really occurred since then. I love these little consolidations. I love these types of breakouts. And they tend to happen after a move comes up, pulls back, consolidates, and then goes again. Very much like we have seen. You see it here, you see it here. It's a very, very frequent occurrence. And that's why I trade this particular strategy. Where are we going to go from here? Well, let's back out again. Let's jump to the weekly. Oops, wrong weekly. I'll go that to the weekly. So where can we go? And can we achieve all-time highs this year? Well, if I go back to the XBT, which is the BitMEX, which is where I got these numbers in, the average is 207.75%. So Let's do this. I'm going to have to do this funny thing here and go, okay, 207% from, let's call this the pullback here. And let's go to there. Right, so that gets us 29,356. Now, please, don't take this as me suggesting we are going to get there before the end of the year. It is not my objective to do that. My role is to read markets as a trader for myself. My decided role above and beyond that is to commentate that to you and to do what I do, and that's what I'm doing. To get up to that, 27,000, 29, call it 30, it's not beyond the playbook of Bitcoin. That's my main point. If it's a 207% move, that's the average after a pullback, and this is the only pullback we've had recently, then by Jingo, by George, we have the potential to do that before the end of the year. Now, how do we position ourselves for a move like that? How do we trade a move like that? Well, it's about being patient. It's about waiting for the pullbacks. Now, I have my Fibonacci's drawn up here on the 30-minute. I'll draw them back in again for you to show you the sort of thing I'm thinking about. Here's the high low to the higher high. I like to trade around the 50 and the 61.8. Now, I'll combine that with other Fibonacci points as well for a double cluster. That's the Fibonacci booster. And as you can see, there's 2 points for which we've got a 50 and a 38.2 back in with the old highs. Pretty tasty level. And a 61.8 and a 50% back down here. Now, if I jump up, excuse me, up the time frames, my preferred level is back in. I love to trade a 50 and a 61.8% together. Now, I'm not suggesting I've raised an order here because we do have strong divergence in the MACD between this high and this high. But I am going to be watching this market very, very closely, seeing if I get that opportunity and seeing if it sets up. The other thing that I've been doing a lot recently, I've taken 3 trades in the last 7 days. That's been on Ethereum against the dollar and Bitcoin against the dollar. I've been happy to move to these lower time frames. As I said before, if I look at the Bitfinex chart, that's Coinbase, sorry, Bitfinex is here. If we look at this, there was an opportunity there. There was money to be made. There was Bitcoin to be made. You're in profit, you're 2, 3, 4 to 1. You've got your stop raise to here. You're happy. Now, if it does jet off, that's where you can make some really, really big gains. But in the same respect, I've been able to take advantage of some little pullbacks. For example, where were we? It was yesterday I got a trade on Ethereum here. Now, I will grant you that it's not a perfect cradle trade, but it moved up. I got my 1-to-1. I scaled out. I moved my stop to here, and I still banked some good Bitcoin. I trade on decent sizes, but everyone, it's just percentage multiple, yeah? So for me, I get my trades on, and I hope they continue to run so I can get a big bit of bank. But it's not just about the big bank. It's about chipping away. And the only way you chip away is by managing your risk and essentially making sure that you know what you're looking for. So, what about the rest of the 10? And this is going to be quite quick, and here's the reason it'll be quite quick. I was actually waiting yesterday for a pullback to 12,000. I was hoping to wake up in the morning to a pullback to 12,000, the old highs, and a round number. Didn't get it, and it moved from there. So what's the rest of the market look like? And this is why I'm focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum for the most part. Ethereum, choppy. Yes, we got a cradle pulling back into that zone right there. Too big for me. Didn't want it. Left it alone. All right. Then we got EOS, still sideways. As a matter of fact, EOS is the one token I have in my watch list for if the market does fall, it is a potential short. Now, sure, I've only got 1-2 tests and I'm very divergent, so it doesn't fit the Bitcoin breakout rules just yet. But the fact that we're finding very strong resistance at $6 and a bit of support around $5.56, I might get a trade building into that. So that's in my list for that reason. Stellar Lumens is, look at how, if you want a definition of what a choppy chart looks like, look at these candles. It is just hideous. Look at the daily. It's weird too because it used to trend really nicely. Look at this. It used to really move smoothly. Now look at this wiki stuff. It's all real thin, wiki, horrible markets. So I'm not interested at all in Stellar. XRP, again, if we look at the range, we're looking at 37 cents to up to 50. It's in a range. It's really messy. See how consolidated this is? It's a big consolidation like back here. I need to see it push on the new highs to get that cyclicity back. So therefore, for me, XRP is not one I'm interested in. Litecoin. No interest there as well. Look at the daily. Totally sideways. Bitcoin Cash, very sideways. Binance, ugly. Tron, pretty average as well. And Cardano. So where do I find my opportunity to trade Bitcoin? Well, it's not just trading Bitcoin by itself. You can have a look across your margin trading pairs, which are offered on different platforms. Bitfinex is the one I'm showing here, where you can short against Bitcoin, which essentially means that you're going long Bitcoin against the alts. Now, I focus on these for good trends, and they do trend marvelously. If I just have a quick skim through here, Litecoin, if we look at yesterday, lovely little breakout. Sorry, yeah, was it yesterday or before? Beautiful Bitcoin breakout. Breakdown, very good move. No pullbacks. I am waiting for those pullbacks. Ethereum, Bitcoin. A lot of people have been talking about this support. I had suggested I think it's going to go. The Bitcoin dominance continues to grow as the market gets more new participants. I didn't see that level holding, and it hasn't. Now, yeah, I hold Ethereum. I do. And yeah, I'm taking a bath on my Ethereum holdings for my investment portfolio. So, you know, it's about looking for the opportunities. Don't hold a bias. Oh, Ethereum's going to do this, that. Sure, fine. Hold it in your investment portfolio. But don't miss a trade. You know, don't miss a pullback into an opportunity where you can build your Bitcoin stack. Monero is pretty ugly. Dash is pretty ugly for a pullback. I'm waiting. XRP, I like XRP Bitcoin because it does have very strong volume. Waiting for a pullback, waiting for the opportunity. And you'll see across the rest of the board here on the on the Bitcoin pairings, for example. Here's one that I actually made a mistake on. I'll tell you the truth right here. Check this out. Little breakout up here. It wasn't on the 4 hour. It was, I think, on the 2. Yeah, there it is. Look. Beautiful Bitcoin breakout. Lower highs coming in. It broke. I didn't take it. I raised the order, but I raised the order on BitMEX. Now, BitMEX doesn't have the same sort of volume as Bitfinex does. I raised the order. I looked at it and went, my order's like way more than anything else on the order books. And I'm not trading silly big. Okay, I'm not putting on 50 Bitcoin positions. Just so you know, there wasn't enough there. If I had gone a Bitfinex, I would have done very well because I know one of my apprentices did, and look at that move. So it's about finding opportunities, all right, and trading on them. That was a mistake of mine, and that mistake ended up being very costly for me. Yes, I do make mistakes. I am human. We all make mistakes, but I won't make it next time. I'll go where the volume is. SAN, not interested. OMG, not interested. Ethereum, Classic, too thin. Neo, too sideways. ETP, too thin. EDO, too thin. IOTA, too thin. EOS, too thin. And we're on to the ETH pairs. The questions just come in. Thoughts on the Litecoin halvening, Craig? Will it be a pump and dump? Troy, I've got to be honest with you, mate. My forte, my skill set does not lie within the fundamental side of things. When I started trading this market, I spent months, I spent 6 weeks. I lie. I usually spend 2 months to learn a new market, to work out what the reporting season is, what the non-farm payroll or equivalent is. What the major news announcements that are coming out are, so I can get my head around it. Now, in crypto, it doesn't have that. So for me, around the halvening, I really don't know. I trade the charts, and I stick to that. And people say, well, how can you not know fundamentals and blah, blah. My answer is I really don't need to. I don't mean to sound like I don't care. There's a lot of guys and girls out there that are very good at fundamentals. I'm not. And I really don't care to be. I'm not sure how you can fundamentally, investment-wise, judge a project. I still haven't found a way to do it myself personally, the way I'm used to doing it in stocks and shares. So I avoid it. I read charts. That's my life. That's what I've done for 13 years. And this market has provided me with a lot of gains just as a trader, not worrying about what everyone else is saying, not worrying about what's coming up. Of course, I am aware of certain things occurring, but I just don't really know enough to back myself on those sorts of things. And I'll be honest with that, I really don't know fundamentals. I know trading. So yeah, a bit of a pullback. It's a lovely looking pullback, as a matter of fact. On the hour, we're getting back into that cradle zone. Sure, we're a bit divergent for the time being, but if we go to the 4 and higher, we're convergent and happy as Larry. You go to the 4, you go to the 8, you go to the 12. They're all convergent. Not so much here. I mean, you look at that height of it, yeah, it's all right. But I'm very much in a position of waiting right now. I'm happy to wait. I have been fortunate enough to have 3 trades over the last week or so that were lower time frames, in and out, big positions, decent little profits, not big. But that's the game as a trader. It's about knowing when to approach a market, knowing when you've got money to make, and knowing when it's not there to be made. And that's what we're looking to teach. That's what we're looking to do. We've had some phenomenal results with our clients. I really appreciate those that put their faith in me, and I'm so thankful to see the feedback I get, because it makes me very happy. Guys, right now, I am being patient. I'm not jumping into anything. I'm not jumping out of anything. I'm being very sensible, very patient, and waiting for the opportunities to present themselves. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see Bitcoin break out to new 2019 highs, and maybe by the morning. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw it pull back. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. One thing I'm not wrong about is knowing that these events are filling up very, very quickly. I mean, you can pretty much thank this whole massive pump for that. Thank you. So if you are considering coming along, whether you are already a member or if you're not, I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of new stuff into there. If you need a payment plan, let us know. We do have the ability to do that now. So get in contact, register your details. Here's how you do it. You go to the website, you click on this little button here, you register your interest, what city you're in. Now, if you're not in Australia, let us know anyway, because we're going to take this show on the road post 2019. I can't wait to travel the world, hopefully take the kids with me, and the missus, of course, and enjoy it myself. So guys, have a fantastic day. Get across to the website, check it out, get yourself registered. If you're thinking about it, stop thinking, start doing, because otherwise you're going to miss out. You've got the opportunity to ask me questions, be involved, meet myself and the apprentices, and throw what you need to throw at us. More than happy to answer your questions, guys. Have a good night. Go Queensland if you are a rugby league aficionado. Bye for now.